What's up everyone, OJ here, welcome back to another video. And you know what, this video might be a little bit scatterbrained. I'm not exactly sure how it's going to turn out, but you know what, I'm upset with Super Smash Bros. Fans. I'm upset with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate fans out there, and you know what, I'm doing some air quotes with that one. I'm upset with it because when it comes to Super Smash Bros., there's always been this struggle, this fight for validation, for the mechanics, for validation that this game is the most flexible fighting game out there on the planet. It can be headlining Evo, but then it can also headline people's parties, right? It can just be a party game that you can play and have fun and throw items, but then it can also be that serious fighting game, and it deserves its place in the fighting game or the FGC lore and the history. And you would think that the fans would at least take some time, especially considering Super Smash Bros., a game that is deeply rooted in the history of gaming and Nintendo. You would think that some people who play this franchise would be open and willing to understand when certain icons, certain characters are into the mix. Look at the spread of characters that we have. Duck Hunt Dog, we also have Rob, Game & Watch, Piranha Plant, you have Mega Man, which is a super old character, 80s and everything like that, right? You have Cloud from 20 plus years ago. There are so many different characters from the whole span of gaming. There are so many iconic characters out there that are from the 7th generation and 6th generation and 5th generation, just generations before that, NES and everything. Heck, we even had it in one gen with Super Smash Bros. Melee, to where we didn't even have those characters here in the US. Nobody knew who Marth and Roy are. So you would think that that type of tradition would carry on and people would want more and inclusive and to learn about franchises that you don't know about. Smash Brothers has always been about that, and the internet reared its ugly head, and more in particularly like the younger kids, the people who don't know about the history of certain stuff, especially fighting games like SNK. They reared its ugly head today, and you know what, guys, I'm just disappointed. I'm disappointed because at our fingertips we have tablets, we have smartphones, we have laptops, we have PCs, and it wouldn't really take that much time to simply go and research what SNK is about, why it would definitely be deserving of a spot in Super Smash Bros., whether it gets in or not. We're going to talk a little bit about that at the end. I would think that you would take a little bit of time. Marth and Roy, nobody was saying back then that they don't deserve to be in Super Smash Bros. Melee because we didn't know who they are or because we never played the games. Kids back then actually wanted to find out who they were. They were interested. They weren't having some type of preconceived notion that this character or Steve from Minecraft or Doom Guy or just characters that they like from the modern age somehow need to be in Super Smash Bros. It was like, hey, who are these characters? How can we play their games? What's up with this? It was about discovery of franchises out there. And if you look at it, I'm just disappointed with the reaction. I'm disappointed with the reaction because if an SNK character does happen to get into Super Smash Bros., that is a fantastic pick. SNK has some of the most storied and classic franchises out there in the FGC, the fighting game community. Having a character from SNK not only fortifies what people like myself have been talking about when it comes to Smash Brothers being a legitimate competitive fighting game, but at the same time it can pull more people in who have played those games. And if you're somebody new, you can actually try out the classics. That's the reason why there are classic games that people love. That's the reason why Nintendo makes the Super Nintendo Classic and stuff like that, is because so new gamers can try this stuff out instead of just completely dismissing it. I remember when I was younger and there used to be a franchise that I didn't know about and it might be in a crossover game or something like that, and the first thing that I did wasn't to rush to some type of social media platform or rush to where my friend was and says, what the hell is that? I don't know anything. This is stupid. It shouldn't be in there. It was like, yo, like, let me find out about this. Is this a dope franchise? Is this a dope game? And I see that there's been a shift in the thought process. Now, let's not kind of blanket all of the young people out there. There are definitely some Gen Z peeps out there. There are definitely some hardcore Smash Brothers fans that are willing to give that opportunity when it comes to the hardcore younger Smash audience, that are willing to try something new, that are willing to kind of go and say, okay, well, I don't know about this before, let me read up about it and everything. But the minute you take some time to even look and see what SNK is all about when it comes to their characters and their franchises, to sit there and say that that wouldn't be a good pick from what they've done before and the history of that is crazy, in my opinion. I mean, I said stuff before like, oh, I don't think Joker's going to get in just because I don't, and Joker got in. Joker, his history is new, obviously it's from a new game, but Persona is a very old franchise. Banjo-Kazooie, very old franchise. You look at Dragon Quest, very old franchise. So there's a little bit of a theme here, right? This game with the Fighters Pass was never about all sorts of new franchises and new games or anything like that. When it comes down to it, we're not talking new franchises. Persona's been around since the PS1, 20 plus years when it comes to Persona. Yes, you've got Joker, but it's still Persona. It's still an older franchise. Same thing with Banjo, and like I said, same thing with Hero. So to see so many gamers not simply just want to pick up their tablet and research just a little bit what SNK is about, all the cool different characters that SNK has. There's anime, there's all sorts of great stuff about it. Now, did I sit there and say, oh yeah, I want a bunch of SNK characters or SNK characters going to get in? No, I didn't, but I didn't even really know about anything when it comes down to it. I mean, I had my picks of what I thought could get in, but I said that I was completely fine with the roster how it is. I'm content. I just bought the Fighters Pass so I can, one, have new content to play on the system, and two, it's hyped to get new characters, right? It's always hyped to get new characters and to try out new stuff, and characters that you thought that you probably wouldn't like, you end up using them, and hey, that character's actually pretty freaking dope, you know, when it comes down to it. Because like, I didn't think I'd like Hero. I'm like, okay, well, just like another sword fighter. I mean, it was crazy when he was announced, but I didn't think I'd like him. But after using him, I do kind of actually like him. He's actually pretty cool. And that's kind of the reason why I'm a bit disappointed, because if you look at it, it's almost like, man, like Tekken or whatever, they got a character from SNK. Did they go crazy and say, what the hell is this? And get mad or anything like that? I think it was Geese or something. No, it wasn't like that at all. It was, yo, check this out, this storied character SNK, it's coming over, like, yo, this is dope, you know, this is really cool. And it just kind of shows basically that Smash fans don't have that proper fighting game knowledge. Some of the kids out there just simply don't, and the first thing that they'll do is go and complain as soon as something doesn't fit whatever narrative that they want on there, man. But like I said, it's not all young fans out there, it's not all young Smash Brothers fans. I don't want to paint a blanket over everybody, but man, this one was definitely something that I had to talk about a little bit, because as a kid when I grew up, I basically didn't play a lot of SNK games just because they were expensive to Neo Geo, and I didn't always get to go to the arcades. But when I did go to the arcades, I did play stuff like Bust a Move, which is SNK. I played stuff like Metal Slug. I heard about SNK. I saw them in gaming magazines. I did play stuff like Capcom versus SNK 2 and things like that on the GameCube. So I had heard about the characters. I saw some of the anime. It was stuff that I wasn't all the way invested into, but I still heard about it. And I actually played some of the other newer King of Fighters games and stuff like that when I was in college and everything. We just kind of let down the FGC a little bit in some regards and everything like that, because I'm looking at the characters so far. I'm looking at Smash Brothers, and I can't think of a single game that has this amount of varied and interesting and different type of characters spread across the universe of gaming. I mean, you can have a match where you have Ryu from Street Fighter versus Bayonetta from Bayonetta versus Mega Man from the Mega Man series versus Pac-Man from, you guys know, old school Pac-Man versus Cloud from Final Fantasy. Like, that is just absolutely insane. And then on top of that, versus Joker, and then versus Banjo and Kazooie versus the hero from Dragon Quest. All third party, all these weird and different types of characters in their own way and right. It's just nuts. There's no other franchise out there, and somehow people still have something to complain about or to be angry about when it comes down to it. I do feel that some people when it comes to it. I look at this and I look at Smash Brothers, and this franchise, this game is all about the rich history of various Nintendo and gaming icons. That's why Pac-Man's in. That's why Sonic is in. I didn't even mention him, right? That's why Sonic is in. That's why some of these old school characters are in. That's what Super Smash Brothers is all about. It was never about a bunch of new games and new franchises. It was always building off what we've had before. Heck, even Snake, that's another third-party old school franchise when it comes to a character. Smash has always been about that. It's always been about that, and I want it to continue being about that. Now, don't get me wrong, I get it, some people want some newer stuff and you can be disappointed, but if you looked at the first 3 characters that they did announce for the Fighters Pass, it was all based on storied franchises that have been around for 20 plus years or so. So I look at it this way: Smash has always been about that. Smash is going to continue being about that. So let's go ahead and get into the leak apparently that's going around here. He has stated that it's going to be Terry Bogard from the Fatal Fury franchise, and also is in King of Fighters, which brings together the different SNK franchises into one big fighting game. And I remember playing Fatal Fury back in the day, arcades and stuff like that, playing King of Fighters. Are you okay? Bust out Wolf, like stuff like that. I think Terry Bogard is a great pick if he was to get in. There is even a female version of Terry Bogard in SNK Heroines Tag Team Frenzy, which is really cool too. So there is that. They could do both of the alternate versions. But if Terry did get in, I think that that would be dope, just because SNK has a ton of great games on Nintendo platforms. Their history definitely dates back. They check all the boxes. It's a hardcore fighting game. And if you look at it, like I said, I never really thought that Fatal Fury or any character from that could get in. I just wasn't thinking about that. But if it did, I'm down, because Fatal Fury and SNK has been around for a long time. Terry Bogard is an icon type of character, and it's something that I think that would actually pull more people into the franchise when it comes to like the FGC and stuff like that. So the roster is huge. There's already a ton of different characters. We still got another character to go. There are some more rumors about Ryu Hayabusa and stuff like that, which Sabe didn't think that was going to be the case. He doesn't know about that, but we're going to have to wait and see how it all shakes out. So what do you guys think about this here in terms of my disappointment with some of the newer fans? What do you guys think about potential Terry Bogard being in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go and check out the links in the description below. We got Facebook and Twitter. Go ahead and give us a like and a follow on our social media. Hit that like button if you did like this video. Let me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for this RPG, Japanese, Nintendo gaming news. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.